She said this is the mayor's meeting, so he would have talked to him.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Did you talk with Corinne at all?
Earlier today, but we didn't get to this.
She knew about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you do, I don't know. Did they get it up for her? I don't know, she got it.
For a second.
5:34, I'd like to call to order. Special council meeting is called by the mayor. Give you a little background. Last week, I issued a memorandum, and part of the memorandum, we are dealing with a number of issues in City Hall with employees, in particular, COVID. So we have a number of employees out with COVID. And last week was kind of a hectic week, so I didn't get a chance to properly review this memorandum that went out. I will look at it and make necessary adjustments. I want to make a special note that per the city charter, Article 103A, the mayor can't call a special meeting of city council. And it was under that article that we are doing this. And per the article, we did have East Cleveland's finest circulate the memorandum as well as necessary documents to individual counselors' houses. And we have a copy of it. Those who were willing to sign for it did. Others, it was just noted what happened at that particular counselor's residence. What I wanted to make note of change-wise, we are in fiscal emergency, and as such, our financial autonomy is restricted or governed by state law and the fiscal commission. It was their November meeting in which they asked us as a city, both administrative, legislative branch and the judicial or the administrative branch, to pass 4 pieces of critical legislation, same 4 that they've asked for every year that I've been an elected official. 1, an amendment appropriations, which is ordinance 2190-21, 2020 amendment appropriations. The interfund transfer for all funds, which is ordinance 90-21. The 2022 permanent appropriations, which is ordinance 88-21. Of particular importance is that, as we remember, the federal government shut down years ago because there was not an appropriation, not a budget in place. We are facing that same dilemma if we do not have an appropriations in place by the beginning of the year. So that was part of my impetus for calling this special meeting. And the 4th piece of legislation is actually a resolution number 8921, and that is to update the fiscal recovery plan. So you have 4 pieces of ordinances or resolutions that need to be acted on here tonight. Like to thank you for showing up and do a roll call. Acting as our clerk for tonight is the Assistant Law Director, Ms. McCullough. Would you please call the roll?
Special council meeting agenda, called by Mayor Brandon L. King, all the councilors. These are out. Councilor Stevenson. Councilor Gowdy. Present. Councilor Martin.
Present.
Councilor Austin.
Present.
Councilor Smith.
Present.
Next, remarks of the public on agenda items only, 2 minutes, please. Hearing none, were there any further reports and announcements of the mayor?
Yes, thank you. So at this point, when I talked to the counselors last week, and being a counselor myself, I do understand and the want for having council take charge of it. So at this point, I would like to turn the meeting over to the council vice president, if you so please, to run this meeting. If not, we can turn it over to our senior councilman, Councilman Nathaniel Martin. So it's up to you, Council Vice President.
I'm not from the.
Come on, let's go with it.
Call the roll, then. Counselor Gotti. Counselor Martin.
Present.
Counselor Austin.
Present.
Counselor Smith. Counselor Stevenson.
What, for the record of the council president, what's the status of her? Is she absent or is it anybody heard from her? Has anybody heard from Corinne Stevens?
We need to do a welfare check.
What's that?
Same thing, when we check on, when the clerk check on you, there's no one heard from.
Okay, well, we didn't hear from her. Let's move on.
Okay, we can go over this, ordinance number 90-21. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 26-21 to make appropriations in various funds for the current expenses and other expenditures of the city of East Cleveland for the period between January 1st, 2021, ending December 31st, 2021, and declaring an emergency in order to ensure funding for police and fire services. This is requested by the Finance Department and sponsored by Councilor Timothy Austin.
Clerk, I like to co-sponsor, I'm sorry. Madam President, I like to co-sponsor this piece of legislation, please.
Yeah, I would like, for Charles to just give us a summary of 90-21. Just give us the key thing, so we have it for the record.
Madam Chair, point of order,
Yeah.
is it an emergency or regular?
This is regular.
Is it, I think it's listed.
Emergency.
Is that an emergency? Oh, yeah.
Thank you,
90-21, right?
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, move to-
Okay, give us a summary of key things that we need to know about this.
If you ask me, I'm sponsoring the station, if you ask, Councilwoman Gotti, I would like to sponsor a move for adoption of ordinance 90-21.
Thank you.
Before we get started, should we send the police?
No, we're not gonna move that thing. Okay,
Yeah,
give us
make the motion, probably second.
Second.
I'll second.
right, okay, now, what we need from you, Charles, is the most important thing that we have for the record, okay? Key stuff that we need to know, we're gonna do all of them like. Okay, all right, because we talking about the budget, completing the budget for 2021, the new budget for 2022. Yep, okay, so let's start with 90-21, okay?
So reappropriations for 2021 is to mainly the police and fire salaries and fringe benefits. We want to move those salaries out of the general fund and place those salaries into the American Rescue Plan Fund.
So you're talking about the $2,111,445.41, which you move, right?
Correct.
Okay, great. So can I share this?
Yeah, go ahead.
So everything, parentheses like this, there's a decrease, right? So that's how you know what they're moving right there. So
2 million.
2,111,000, that's how you go through the whole report.
Okay, continue.
And outside of that, permanent improvement fund, we're increasing that by $246,000. That's for just paying for all the renovations that's been going on in not just City Hall, but our other facilities. So increasing the permanent improvement fund. Those are the two main changes from the original appropriations that was passed in March to these reappropriations that is being presented to you. Mainly is moving the police and fire salaries out of the general fund and moving them to the American Rescue Plan Fund. And what that will do is the balance for the general fund will increase because we're not spending as much money in the general fund because we're spending the money in the American Rescue Fund for those police and fire salaries. So if you look at the general fund, the initial budget, well, I believe page maybe 5, it would show the original budget that was passed in March was $15 million for appropriation. Look for the general fund grand total.
All right, here. Page 5. Page 5.
So look at the first column, are you there? Do you see it?
I'm on page 5 now, okay?
You see general fund? You see the grand total, $15 million? Look at the
Right.
the left column, the left farthest column.
Let's say salaries, fringe benefits, other, total FEMA grant, we're American Rescue Plan,
What page you on?
page 5, this is 5, isn't it?
Go to page 4.
Go to 4,
I don't have it. Right there. Go to page 4. Page 3, okay.
page 3.
Thank you. Page 3.
Okay, now, one thing that stands out, right, you can cover that. The city council's got a budget of 340, should be 440, is that correct?
That is 2022 you're thinking about.
Oh,
This is 2021.
This is 2021,
That's correct.
340 is 2021.
If you look at the reappropriation for 2021, look at the farthest right column.
Two city council,
City council,
salary.
One is
2021.
right,
So now
we're doing 2021 now,
Right,
right?
2021. You had 2 clerks. You don't have 2 clerks, so you didn't have to spend as much in salary.
All right.
The difference of 11,000. You look at just the increase. 11,000, let's hear, increase 11,000.
Now, the ARPA money, in terms of, you switched that around for police and fire, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're comfortable with this.
I'm comfortable with it.
Are you comfortable? What about you? Comfortable with this?
I was gonna actually try to review, I didn't retain everything, but I did review the information to see what was agreed, and what I was looking at, that number that was being moved from the general fund to ARPA fund was significant for the police, and that's like, I guess you kind of understated that, it's like $600,000
Mhm.
that the general fund doesn't have to carry because of the, and making sure we kind of stick within that time. Yes, so there was one other thing I wanted to make sure we kind of captured, there, in entry in there, it said something about, things that were financially beneficial to the city continue.
Give me an
And,
example, give me an example.
it said things that like, Hit Brendan, Helena's Brown, brought us money. So those things that would continue the resources that we need outside of just the $13 million we're gonna get for 2022. So that's when I make sure that the fair day, they're gonna fall off after the $13 million kind of properly aligned within our financial structure. What are those things gonna carry us beyond that? And that was something I want to kind of, like I said, I kind of perused it and I don't know the correct terminology. When I looked at those items, the things that basically brought us money, what the fees for building and housing, those things that we get, how the city keeps going besides the income tax.
All right, Brother Smith, you all right with this?
So the full, budget of the police and fire be going to the ARPA.
Not the full budget,
Half of it, right?
only just those who, so
Explain,
police have other folks who are not officers in their budget that can't be moved over to ARPA. They have executive assistants, they have mechanics, they only civil service officers are the ones who are being, their salaries and fringe benefits are being moved over to ARPA.
That frees up those from the general fund.
That's correct.
That's like we're getting back to 2 million, I said 600,000, back to 2 million, 2.1 million.
Police department and salaries is the biggest cost to the city. So,
So is they gonna get a raise?
we're in negotiation. We're in negotiation, the city and administration wants to get them. All right,
Because I had experienced something on yesterday, I was, think that, the airman's going come to the hospital and they handle this lady so good, so I see a big change,
Okay, is that the police you said? They helping the EMS too? Okay. I'll say, you could give them a shout out, say, see the chief and let them know. I'll let them know you mentioned that well.
So is there anything else that we need, the council needs to know about 90-21?
No,
So we ready to vote on that now? Are you ready?
Yes.
Ready?
because the police officers have a lot of, coming in and out, they don't have, stable money. Because of no other, every year or maybe every other day or something, we lose time. So we need to try to budget something so we can keep the police officers stable. Because the salary that they actually get is not being enough.
Well, how you feel about what you just said?
All makes sense, but irrelevant to this.
To the situation?
Yeah, because it's 2021.
This is 2020, we're giving it in 21 and next year.
Now we
Okay,
go to
so this is
2022.
something that you're gonna look into.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, but yeah, if nothing can be done, this is part
No,
of
I'm just
2021.
saying, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
absolutely,
because they have,
yep,
So turning over out.
Yes, it is. the mayor, he's fully aware of, and chief of staff and myself, we are fully aware of the turnover that's going on in both safety services, the police and fire, and we will have to be, we are negotiating with the police department now to get some type of raise for the police department and then the fire department.
Okay, do I need to make a motion for orders 90-21?
Sorry.
Have been made?
Yes.
Who made the motion?
Walker made the motion and I second.
You made it?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm the sponsor.
All right,
So no more discussion?
yeah, let's go on, let's hold on.
Call the
Yeah.
call. Counselor Gotti.
We can do something.
On your left.
Like,
Oh, no problem. Counselor Martin,
Yay,
Counselor Osborne,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
and Counselor Gotti. Yeah. Ordinance that number 90-21 has passed.
okay, and I think that, well, Council Osman, he sponsored orders, he sponsored them all up, he sponsored 91-21, and he go with 91-21 like he did 90-20,
She has
please.
she has a reader first.
She-
Point of order.
Oh, okay, go ahead, all right.
Ordinance number 91-21, an ordinance providing for the schedule of interfund transfers of funds between all funds and declaring an emergency. This is requested by the Director of Finance and sponsored by Counselor Timothy Austin. This is an emergency.
did you say all funds?
It says
Interfund.
interfund
Interfund.
transfer of funds between all funds and declaring an emergency.
So can you
Madam
explain that?
Counselor Austin?
Can I explain?
91-21.
Oh, do you move for it?
Yes, so just the way ceremony is normally done, it said ordinance number 91, Mayor and Councilman Austin, what's your play?
What is your choice?
I would like to sponsor ordinance number 91-21 and move its adoption.
Okay, you need a second,
I second, and also Madam Chair and Madam Clerk, I would like to co-sponsor this piece of legislation, please.
I would like to.
you want to co-sponsor too? You got that, Madam Clerk?
Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead. Discuss.
So pass ordinance 91-21. Within 91-21 is transfers. Basically, the general fund will have enough money to transfer over to certain funds that is gonna fall short by the end of the year in terms of appropriation. So, and you should have the list of those funds.
Councilor Simon.
Yeah.
Can I compliment what you're
Please.
saying? To make a long story short, the list these transactions he's aspiring to do is balance those deficit lines. Those lines don't have enough money in them. At the end of the year, you don't want to have lines that you leave with zero balance or negative balance. So it looks bad on that. So for proper management of our finance, that's what we like to do, kind of balance our check.
Very well.
Check. It's a standard, yearly practice, like the council said, to balance all the, line items to make sure we don't have any negative line items. So we're just moving funds from the general fund to various line items that have a deficit as of now. And make sure we don't have a deficit in those line items.
And
Then you list them all.
yeah, I list them all, and one of the main ones, two main ones, the street fund. So, street fund, we do this every year, because the street fund has, the residents, administration, and council have enjoyed the services of Antonio and his crew. And so, as we ask more of them, obviously, that costs more. So, this is just paying for, putting more money into that fund so we can continue to enjoy all those services that Antonio, Director Marshall, and his crew does. So that's one of the transfers into the street fund, and the other one is the permanent improvement fund. That again is the renovations you've seen over the course of the year. Even the renovation that's going downstairs, which I believe the mayor, please don't quote me, I believe he said that he's outfitting for city council.
So then,
Outfit.
Remodel.
downstairs,
Where you at?
I just don't know, I think he said that.
Okay, I
Everything
wanted
is
to hear from you.
just piggybacking on it, but I think he said that, I thought I heard him say it, but.
There was some discussion about it.
Right.
And you let me know, I'll share that discussion.
You can share.
Okay, yeah, what was discussed is that the area downstairs where there's a restaurant
right,
and office space. So to make that office space more accommodating for council, they would obviously put some money in and some redesign. I think that we should be a little bit more involved in that redesign, so kind of, that's gonna be the council space moving forward. That a council person is more involved in the front part of the design of the space. People are where it's actually best for square footage set aside for the council.
That's supposed to be around shit,
Now, like I said, this is an opportunity. So like I
It's
said,
an
I
opportunity.
think you should bring in.
It's been a long time.
Thank you. So that's,
you wanna say something about police pensions and the fire pensions and all that, what is the thing that we need to know about this?
the police and fire pensions, that's the standard. You pay accrual liability, all the cities have paid accrual liability, some cities have paid it up, but it's part of the property tax. A long time ago, the city put on the resident property tax, a portion of it helps pay for the police and fire crew liability. But that is when the police and fire pension fund was created in 1970 something, 76. Okay, you already had police officers who already worked before 1976. They just created this pension fund for them. So what they had to do is a calculation of all the officers who had already left and retired for every city and figure out what each city would have to put into the pension fund to have a pension for those officers who already left, who were still living. And so each city had a number that, as far as the dollar amount that they was liable for. And so the city every year pays its liability. Some cities have paid it off. Depends on the amount they owe. And depends on the amount that he was able to pay over the year. So we're still paying ours. I believe the balance, I think it's like $700,000, but it was a real big amount, when it first started. But again, they had to calculate how many officers who already left, and then how much would they be living to have a pension for them?
Right.
And so they came up with a number. Each city had a number that, okay, y'all have to pay this liability amount so we can pay pension for these former officers. So that is with the police and fire pension fund. City's been paying it for.
So we're current, everything's all
Yeah,
right.
you can, absolutely, yeah. I mean, one day we would like to pay it off. Again, it's just, it's a big amount, in terms of, because I think at one point, I mean, East Cleveland had, the city was a bigger city and had more people, more officers, so it had more liability.
Let's get back to your time. So.
In 1976, I don't know what the population was at the time. I know at one point, I think the highest was 40,000.
40,000.
So, and that's compared to now, it's a lot of people. And you have, obviously, with more people, you have more employees.
Hoping we make sure everything on the shelves is good on the farms and everything.
Is there anything else that we need to know about 9121? You all right with that, Smith?
Yes, sir.
You all right with that, Austin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Madam Vice President.
Yes, Counselor Smith,
Yeah.
Counselor Austin,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Martin. I'm counting.
Okay, that's
Ordinance
passed.
90-21.
91.
91.
91-21.
That's passed.
Thank you.
Okay,
Moving on to ordinance 88-21.
exactly. Good move. Go ahead.
An ordinance to make permanent appropriations in various funds for the current expenses and other expenditures of the city of East Cleveland for the period between January 1st, 2022 and December 31st, 2022, and declaring an emergency. This is requested by the Director of Finance and sponsored by Councilor Timothy Austin.
Councilman Timothy Austin, this legislation.
Your pleasure. My pleasure to sponsor and move for adoption of ordinance 88-21. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'd like to second and also co-sponsor, please.
You want to go over the key stuff we need to know out of here? This is for January 1st, 2022, December 31st, 2022, correct?
Yeah, the budget for next year.
Right. So is anything that we need to cover?
The $100,000.
Yeah, is that in there?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
It was requested to put $100,000 in the council's budget.
okay, thank you.
Not what's in
The other thing was the, next year, we're supposed to get another 13 million, but we won't get that to June, is that correct? Is that correct?
there. Yeah, it's gonna be, just like it has been, I did have to go in to the portal and request the money, but when I'm able to do that in 2022, I don't know yet, they'll give us a notification, and say, hey, you guys can go on and ask for the 13 million, but you can't get it right now.
So that's not factoring in this at all. The
It
13
is factored in too, because we know we're gonna get it,
Okay,
but I'm not, the appropriations is not spending all 13 million. These the 22 appropriations are not spending all the $13 million that.
for 2022.
For 2022, because I don't have all of the programs that the city wants to do. Only thing I know of in terms of programs is the $3,000 home improvement program that the mayor initiated. That's nowhere $3,000. That's not nowhere $3,000, right? I think he's on $33 million, 3,300. I think that's the cap. $3 million was the cap of how much he wanted to spend towards the home improvement. You don't recall that?
I do recall it was 2 million initially, right?
No, it's 3 million.
3 million?
And then I think council wanted to 5 million.
Right,
It was
that's,
3 million.
We never agreed on
If
that.
I could be mistaken, maybe 2 million.
Okay.
Nevertheless, my point is, that's only 2 or 3 million out of the 13.
But we ain't never agreed on none of that.
And then the stimulus, $300 to the senior citizens, that was at $1 million. That was the cap, that's the budget for that. So between those two programs, there's only $4 to $5 million of the $13 million.
So you went into the money, is what you said, did you go into the 13 million?
Yes, appropriations are appropriated with those two programs that I know of. So if there's any other programs that council wants to do with that ARPA money in 2022, we'll reappropriate.
So, how much do we have
How much do we have left?
of the money? How much did you appropriate? I mean, how much did you spend out of that money? Because we didn't know too much. I don't
Two different questions, yes. How much did we spend?
Mhm, and how much do we have left?
Okay, how much we spent? I have to, I'm trying to think, maybe. Please don't quote me on, about. Close to 5,500,000. I can tell you the bulk of it was bonuses to the employees that the mayor just paid out 3 weeks ago. So all the employees, it was a retention bonus to try to keep the employees that we have on staff.
Did it help?
Don't know yet. I hope it will. I can tell you the employees were happy with the bonuses they received. So part of the ARPA money was, the bulk of it was spent on bonuses that was paid out to the employees. And the bonuses are based upon the hours they work from October last year to October this year. That's how much we spent in about 55.
So let me ask you this, going back to 2021, the 13 million we got for 2021, how much we got left? You know,
I mean, I can pull it up. You want
just give me a, just give me a guess.
You got $12 million.
12, we got 12 million left?
Yeah.
You hear that, Spokesman?
12 million.
There's 3 million allocated, but only spent, $1 million hasn't even been spent yet. It was still $12 million left.
Okay, then for 2022, we ain't touched the 13 million yet.
You got it.
And Councilman, we could come up, which we already knew, but thank, from Mr. Director. We come up with our own ideas and programs to serve the people. Bring it to the appropriate people and get that started.
And that's what we're gonna try that for 2022, but we really didn't. It was like, told us that once we voted for the COVID-19 and it was a transfer, whatever it may be. But we never really had a conversation about this. And we both had a conversation, the Amish people working in here, so we never really had a conversation. Never did.
Even about the whole meeting.
So,
Yeah.
Send me your legislative request when you get the program together.
okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think everybody ready?
Yes.
We ready? Okay, go ahead, Vice President.
Okay, call the roll.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Austin,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Valley. Ordinance 88-21 has passed.
Now, last one is 8921. Okay.
A resolution approving the mayor's financial fiscal recovery plan in accordance with section 118.06 of the Ohio Revised Code for submission to the Financial Planning and Supervision Commission and declaring an emergency. This is requested by Mayor Brandon L. King and sponsored by Councilor Timothy Austin.
Okay, Mr. Larry, good name,
Okay.
Austin,
I would like to sponsor and move for the adoption of ordinance number 89-21.
Brother,
Discussion.
Brother Smith, you wanna
Madam
second
Chair, I would
that?
like to, yes, sir, second and co-sponsor, please.
All right, so, Charles, can you give us the details about this? This is a recovery plan, there's no more,
Yeah.
yeah, this is more deep. Give us key thing we need to know about this.
So,
89-21. Okay,
so the appropriation, the reappropriations of 2021 and the appropriations for 2022 that you just passed is incorporated into the fiscal recovery fund. And on the 5-year forecast, when you see the dollars, when you start seeing the dollar amount, the narrative, where you see the words, the only thing that changed in the narrative from the last fiscal recovery plan that was adopted by council last January is telling the narrative of the city utilizing the ARPA funds to pay for the police and fire salary.
okay,
So that's the only thing it's changed from the plan last year in terms of the narrative. So we're speaking of how we're using the ARPA dollars
Mhm.
to pay for the police and fire salary, to put it in work.
Right, and you said of 2021, we got what, how much left for the 2021 of the ARPA money?
That's $12 million.
Well, and then we still got the 13 million coming in June of 2022, so we look pretty good now.
Okay, but I have a question. Remember at the commission, when we went over there at the library, that we have a problem with the police officer.
What we talked about, Mr. Mateo, what did she say?
She already said that, she don't feel like that, but I feel about,
What's your take on, what's your take on that, Charles?
No, excuse me, her issue was that she doesn't believe the words in the eligibility use of the money. It says you can use the money to pay for police and fire, public safety payroll, but they have to be responding to and mitigating COVID-19. And so her trepidation is thinking, how can you establish that?
Yeah, how do you
Yeah,
prove
how
that?
do
I
you-
mean, how do you prove that,
Cause
right?
everybody running around.
Exactly, that is a,
Yeah.
I want to make a comment about that.
Okay, you go first.
Go on.
Go ahead.
So in the environment that we're working in right now, with the infectious potential of the virus that we're working with right now, everybody, since the folks in this room, they say one molecule is enough infection, and it can have enough infection to have a test positive for the coronavirus. They talked about the system that we take our water from, being contaminated to some degree. I don't know how, I gotta say, how strong that contamination is, but that is the level, that's the environment in which we're working right now. So the virus is suspected everywhere. So every time a police officer moves from his desk to another desk, he's working in that environment. If you get to that level of detail, so that's how concerned I am for my own health. and
Yeah,
safety.
but you got health insurance and stuff like that. You
Right,
know, if this is normal compared to what's been happening, you know, this is not. We all can do that. You know, you can even do that. You can move from us together. You might like, you know,
Yeah.
right.
we contact with each other, so that's no excuse.
The
So
one-
I can't.
I did test negative this past week.
You did?
Yeah,
So
so- and that's a good
it's all
thing.
right for me being next to you, sir?
You're my
So
concern.
that's good. That's what she was saying.
Right, so.
Yeah.
She said, this is a normal, I mean, if they fall out and, you know, they taking shots and everything, you know, they're preventing a lot of this, you know, germs and corona spreading all over the place, but she was just making a good, you know, she made good sense when she said, you know, this is a job. You know, it's a high risk for everybody. It's a high risk for us.
Everybody, this,
Even-
yeah.
even- Not too long ago, everybody upstairs, the administration had COVID.
Right.
So did they get?
Okay, what I understood, if I'm not mistaken, is that the environment that the police work in every day. If there was, if coronavirus
Here's the
was
risky
involved,
environment.
We work
they're
over,
in the fall all the time. So
but
at what point during the 8 hours, do they get out of it?
They already get
How are they out of
compensated.
it?
They already get compensated.
Madam Vice President, the law
Madam,
director.
may I be recognized?
Yeah, go ahead, come on up.
Thank you. What the mayor has planned and what he's taking into consideration is the fact that you and I don't have to try to resuscitate somebody foaming at the mouth with mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. But we don't have to come in contact with an arrestee and put our hands on them and tell them, put your hands behind your back and wrestle with them. That's their everyday job. What I have to do is go on a computer and put on my spectacles and deliver services like that. But it's endemic to their service provision. That they have to touch, they have to be more than within 6 feet of each other. Plus, he intends to require every time they go out to take some masks to mitigate the interaction, hand sanitizer, and since they cannot socially distance, they can't practice social distancing like we can in our jobs. So all the communities, and I think I shared with you yesterday, our proportion that we are providing in terms of the police compensation from ARPA is less than most of the other cities. For instance, I shared the fact that the Cleveland City Council, in their appropriation of their $26 million, they're giving 20 million, 20 of the 26 million to the safety forces. Remember, I shared, I don't think I made copies for the two other councils, but I'll make copies. They're
Do I have a
giving,
copy of that?
yeah, I gave it to you yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
Nandali, I gave you,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I-
everybody recognizes that it's intrinsic to the services that they deliver, that they have to provide mitigation in every single interaction that they make. So of the $26 million that Cleveland is allocating, 10.2 million is for the Division of Police, 3.6 million for the Division of Fire, 7.8 million for the Division of EMS. And that's more than 75–80% of the $26 million. Our allocation is much less than that.
We get a total of 26 million, that's correct. So the 26 million, let me ask you, this, how much have we allocated for fire and police?
Ours is, our proportion is much less than it's in your 2022. Yeah, proportionally,
Over the course of 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024, the fiscal recovery plan in the 5-year forecast identifies that. So if you look at the forecast and you look at police and fire and the forecasted budget, you'll see that it's very low. When I
Ours
say-
is very low.
Yes, in the general fund,
so this
because
is.
we're not paying out of the general fund, the police and fire, we're paying it in ARPA.
But I'm just saying, this is
To
your.
answer your question, I don't know what's happening, I mean, I have to look at the document, add up each year.
But
I kind of done
Cleveland got what, a $500,000?
Over the course of,
From
Over the
percentage
a,
standpoint,
yes,
how much did Cleveland give to fire and police, and how much did we give? to fire?
75% versus ours is 50%. Now, yes, ours is only 50%, theirs is, they're giving 20 of the 26 million, say, no. This is the 26 million that they are allocating, for the upcoming year, just like you are allocating for the upcoming year. So they are giving about 80%. Say, look at 25 times 4, that would be 100 million, so 25, say 4 times 25 would be 100 million. So look at it like that. 4 times 20, that would be 80%. You see what I'm saying?
So about 44% of the $27 million that we're gonna get over the course of the 4 years, we can spend the money. You gotta spend the money, or at least have it allocated by the end of 2024. 44% of the ARPA money, I'm saying, is going in the 5-year forecast is gonna go towards police and fire
Say
salary.
before.
Okay, but I'm just looking, did you send your legal opinion down?
Yeah,
Okay, let me
I
see.
said it to you.
I know, this is just.
I know, it's 181 pages.
If you wanna understand how I got
No,
the number, all I
this
did
is just
was
something that you
I
already
divided
said. This
$27
is what
million
Frank Jackson and what they want.
and divided by 12 over the course of
You can send a legal.
4
opinion
years.
down
I'm saying we will spend about $12 million in the police and fire for the salary. So I divided $27 million divided by $12 million, and that's 44%. You asked about how much percent that we looking to spend out of ARPA money to the police and
How
fire,
much are you saying?
44%.
They
44%. Now, is that making a difference on, us keeping police officers? Is it making a difference?
Well, what's gonna happen is we're saving, gonna have money in the general fund
Right, I know
to
that.
be
We
able
know
to
that, so we
do
can do
some
other
salary
things.
increases.
That we could do.
But we have an issue of losing police to other police departments because they're paying them, right? Thank you.
That's
Right.
one of the
So
factors,
you
I
need to-
want, to me, I just wouldn't put all my eggs in that is the sole
That's right.
factor, but it is one of the major factors.
Well, how is it so major when they already, got, money, they get money,
Compared to the economy, tell like our office is here, is that what you're saying, who got money?
Our police officers,
Uh-huh.
we wanna put money into their funds, but we wanna make sure that they get some insurance and everything else to go with it, so if they need a whole package deal out there, because they tearing up the car. And they're flying up and down the street, and they didn't give people the proper respect that they need. So, I mean, if you gotta do something about this. This is not just somebody that we gonna just give to them, and they need money. Well, more money than a raise. They need money to stay here. Y'all ain't even giving them over $20 an hour. How do you expect somebody to stay here?
So if I just understand what you just said, so
You
you
gotta.
wanna give them some more money, but we saying that they turn up the car.
Well, we need some insurance. I said a whole package deal. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah. So I'm just saying, we have to come up with a balance.
Well, we have to come up with a budget and a balance and everything else. I'm not just gonna throw no rocks and
Absolutely.
continue to stone
Madam,
and glance.
Madam Chair, what we're trying to point out is Cleveland is allocating 80% of
Okay,
their money. We're only doing half that for our safety. thing.
and that's
Right.
fine,
We're
but
doing
it's
half
fine, and I don't have a problem with that, I don't have no problem with that. But what I have a problem with, them tearing up and everything else, and that's costing money too. I just seen 2 police cars already tore up when I came into the parking lot. Nice ones, share some light, because we need to get to the bottom of this so that the safety comes first. And then the protection and money and the raises, they need to stay stable. They going in and out the door every day. I see different cops coming in all the time. So we really need to do something about this before I even think about passing the budget and giving them some more money. In their account. For the forecast.
So the forecast has no giving officers any extra money.
Yeah, it's just a summary of what you plan on doing.
And I'm saying, this is the summary, what we plan on doing, we need to get them covered,
We got,
100% covered.
and for 2022, we got 13 million that we'll be dealing with.
Yeah,
But we also got for 2021, how much you said we had left? About 12 million?
yeah.
Okay,
That's
that's not
okay,
too bad.
right, so that's what I'm saying, that we got this, why couldn't y'all put that in here, so that could be covered too, you know, that's what I'm saying, they need a package. And they need to stay with it. Okay, now. Right. Yeah, I mean, this discussion, this is how I feel about the whole situation. I don't mind giving anybody anything, but they have to earn it too.
And before he tells, I just wanna say that we're going to lose officers to these other departments because we can pay them more. We can't change that, we won't change that within the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, we
But
need to
maybe this thing that you just did with giving people extra, that helps, that helps, right? Right.
Good to them.
I'm gonna do it. Hey, we're gonna always be at a disadvantage because we can't pay what Richmond Heights can pay or what Shaker Heights can pay or Cleveland Heights can pay.
That's all.
We can't pay that, right?
That's another discussion in terms of increasing our property tax. I mean, or I'm sorry, our income tax. Income tax, I mean, but that's also, you can throw that in the equation too.
But
The
I'm saying,
reality
if you
is
cut
the
down, if you can give them full-time and take away the part-time and give them that money, that would help, and then full coverage.
When you say full, you talking
I'm
about
talking about full coverage. They need to
medical, or are you
cover-
talking about the?
Covering with their cars, covering with people if they hit somebody and everything else.
So
They
let
need
me,
to
let
cover.
me count together, let me explain something when it comes to insurance and coverage. So let's say we
And
get
it-
this coverage, this full coverage that you're talking about. And let's say an officer gets in an accident, hurts someone, right? And your expectation is that the insurance company is gonna pay for the damages, correct? Right? I mean, that's what you pay the premium for. Insurance company pays for the damages to the person that they hit or any medical bill, right? That's what insurance is.
Yeah.
So, insurance, in my opinion, I don't know how you feel, insurance is not in the business of paying claims. When I say that, I don't know if you ever experienced personally in your own life in terms of needing to use your insurance. For whatever, whether it's home, auto insurance. But best believe, if you keep having claims, your premium is gonna go up.
And even if it go up, if we keep getting sued, we ain't gonna have no seat.
And so what happens too, it gets to a point where the insurance company won't even quote you for insurance because they paying out too many claims.
Okay, but I'm just saying, where's the training? I mean, everything
understand.
needs to come with the training.
I understand, that's a
Everything
great
comes
question.
from training.
Yeah.
They need to be trained how to drive. They need to know how to
Yeah,
drive.
I agree.
You know,
I think that's a
because
conversation. when that's
Cleveland
what
don't have that, Shaker don't have all this going on. Only one have this going on is
But I would definitely say Council Galley in that the safety, health and safety.
Meeting,
committee,
yeah.
that
Yeah,
I think those questions that you asked
Yeah,
really
but I'm-
can be
okay.
totally answered by the police chief in terms of the training and all that. But in terms of the insurance, I just wanna make sure you understand that if there's no training yet, right? You get this full coverage of insurance, and if our officers still get into accidents, and then the insurance company pays the claim, and the city not pay, you pay the claim, right? That's what they do. They got billions of dollars. They pay the claim. You have another claim. You have another claim. If at the end of the year, the insurance company see that they had to pay, $1 million or so in claims for East Cleveland's police department. What I'm trying to explain to you is that you have to renew your insurance every year. And so when you go renew, they're gonna be looking at that's what they do. They look at your claim system. They see, they don't want to say, you got a lot of claims, that means a lot of money they gotta pay out. They don't want to pay it.
I understand that, but you know, we have to get to a point where we already know what's going on in this school, and we gotta keep it real with each other. And sometimes if we hold them accountable, they need to get their own show. If they have to like.
That's another.
Madam Chairman, let
You
the
know,
council speak.
I mean, for real, they do need to get
No,
on the
no.
screen.
You
And they need to work on this, because if they doing all this, and this claim and this claim, and we ain't going nowhere. And there's a lot of stuff that's going on in our city, people is actually getting killed and hurt out there.
So,
And I don't want them to be
between
doing
you and Will and him, what is the common, where we get some balance?
the balance.
Where's the balance in this?
That's.
I'm asking you.
I think Councilor,
Okay,
Please, okay, give me an answer, I'll give you some balance in this situation. Huh? Yeah,
What I'm saying, where do we get the balance?
where's the balance at in this? It's like, we're just no win situation in this situation. Because they're gonna have accidents, they're gonna have accidents, no doubt about it, chasing people up and down the street.
So
They're gonna have
and
accidents.
we have to be okay with
No, we don't have to be okay
it. To
with
some
that.
degree.
I mean, only if it's an emergency, but some of this stuff ain't emergency. And we can't be okay with everything that's going on out in these streets. Police officers chase the people. It could be a minor something. Let me put an example. Somebody probably sold, if I sold you a car and I called it in stolen about 4 years ago, I got the report saying that, oh, I got my car back. But then I didn't report that I got my car back. So I'm selling somebody else the car and they look behind and see that this car has been stolen. And before the person knows that this person sold me the car ain't stolen. And here come the police officer driving behind, oh, this car is stolen. Boom, there you go.
and there are
Right now,
other factors,
So I'm just saying, example.
Madam Vice President and Councilor Martin, there are a lot of other factors. We get rid of bad police officers as soon as we find that they have done something atrocious or egregious. Then they're a union. Then they go to arbitration. And you could see the example with Cleveland, with Euclid. Once they're in arbitration, those are some fierce unions. The FOP and the Cleveland Police Patrolmen's Association, they don't play. They fight like the Dickens for their people, and they get their job back. That's something that we don't have any control. We fire them and we get rid of them. And then when we take them back, I have to tell you that we don't put them back on the street. If we have to take somebody back, you can ask the last two people that they're not out in the streets anymore. We do our best to contain them. If we have to take them back because of the union, because of arbitration, and that's a balance. And like I said, we are only allocating, in terms of the stimulus money, half of what the other cities around us, including Cleveland, is doing for police and safety forces. And in that interim treasury report that I gave you, that is allowable. And we are being very, very, very conservative. He's the most conservative guy I know. You are in good hands, not with Allstate, but with Charles. He does not play. I don't care if you're me asking for $6 to go get some donuts for my people, for Christmas or something. I don't care if you're the mayor. He doesn't let the mayor spend a dime that the fiscal supervisors and the fiscal commission will not approve. And others, we have 3 different layers that are external to us that make us accountable. We have the fiscal supervisors, we have the state appointed auditors, and we have the fiscal commission. And plus now we have the feds. You don't want to go against the feds. You go to prison. If we just spend a dime of this ARPA money, this stimulus money, that's against that interim treasury report, Madam Dowdy, that I gave you, we go to prison. Charles doesn't like prison. I don't like prison.
I don't either.
I have been down to Youngstown too many times, seeing clients. We are not gonna misspend this money.
Okay.
And that's up to the mayor.
Okay.
So now I'm going to ask Austin. You can wait.
Yeah, Austin, yeah, he can wait. Let Austin get out, get out.
Is it on that?
Yeah, they wanna leave the prison center.
I ain't got time for it.
You asked me.
We talked about a lot of stuff, and I just wanna see if I can, recap before we vote on this piece of legislation that's on the floor. Speaking of the legislation we're talking about right now, this is just our plan. In the event that everything continues on the path that we're going right now, the mayor has to submit a plan so that we can actually, submit to the fiscal commission, so we can see if we are fiscally responsible enough to eventually make a decision about coming out of the financial, fiscal emergency, if you will. With this plan, it will allow us to take action on some of the contracts we have pending, because we couldn't do certain things because we're not listing the plan. And all those contracts for future vehicle purchases and so on and so forth, hopefully those things are properly listed in a way that would allow us to take action on those contracts, consolidation, certain lease agreements for our vehicles, other equipment that we actually lease, even though we're leasing to purchase those pieces of equipment. Looking at the 5-year forecast or the mayor's plan, which is subject to being updated as necessary, not just like one time. But it's necessary that we do at least update at least once annually. Looking at what it took to get us to this place financially, and I would like to make sure that when I leave here, this is my last meeting, that God respect it. I'm not saying that, God allowed me to see this point, when you get to the end of the term, and if you serve in a way that hopefully benefits the people, I like to think that I know they can contribute something positive. So as we look at the 26 million, I do understand that was big stuff, like the 2.1 times 4.
Yeah.
That's pretty close to 9 as well. I'm just gonna say that. And looking at 750,000 for the fire, that would get us to that 3 million over the next 4 years. That's how you got the 12, just short of halfway. 12 to 13, just short of halfway, at least 1%. Self-insured, we've been talking about that for the last few years, being self-insured at the state. That does not alleviate, if the officer is responsible for doing something, he could be financially liable for construction of government equipment. Although it's the local, it's still the same process, or he may be found liable. And realigning of the dollars is a very responsible thing to do. But with the general fund, we make a decision on how those dollars, well, the city makes a decision how those dollars can be managed, handled, and spent. With the ARPA dollars, those are, as the law director said, they're physically, federally managed, and making sure that you are fiscally responsible for doing what is identified based on that color of money. So the dollars must be spent for the purpose in which they were intended. So those are those constraints. So having more flexibility in our finance going forward will allow us to build up enough money in the general fund. So after the ARPA funds have been expended, we have some resources to still make decisions. We go back to where we were before, not adequate resources. We might find ourselves selling a piece of land like we did over there on Mobile and Euclid, because we just didn't have money. And we were selling to whatever, right, and we were selling to whatever we got. So to prevent that going forward, I'm asking the body to, look at the future. So this is a document about the future. We must look at the future so we get into water and drive the future. So that's all the notes that I had. I do appreciate you taking the time out. Thank you.
Well, we know we have our shortcomings. Now, we passed, 90-21 is passed, 91-21 is passed, 88-21 is passed, last one is 89-21. When we pass it, all 4 of us pass, that means it immediately becomes law, because we have 4 votes. So I'm ready to pass 89-21. All right, so go ahead, Madam Vice President.
Yeah, I mean, any more discussion?
No, and if we want to make any changes, we can always do it. We have the power. Council has the power to do that. Just going to be done with this. Okay, go ahead, Madam Vice President. We got the legal, we got the finance director, we got these great brains in here, right?
Councilor Smith,
Yeah.
Councilor Austin,
Yay!
Councilor London,
Yay!
Councilor Dowd.
Okay, so it's done. Okay, go ahead. All right. So if everything is passed, we go into a new year, we're gonna see what we're gonna do. with this 26, was it 26 million we got coming for 2022? And we got 12 million left from 2021.
No, from 13.
13 million, okay. So we got 13 million for 2022, and how much we got left for 2021 this year?
12 million.
12 million, so how much is that, finance director? What about? Okay, that ain't bad, I mean, we lucky we got that, and we're lucky we that, aren't we?
Absolutely.
So we gotta get that.
Remember, only city, I think we're one of many only cities that with the population that we have and the amount that we get is so unproportionate, disproportionate.
So we came out all right then, right?
Right? You know,
Okay,
very
all
well.
right. Thank you guys, it's just that, I'm hoping that I know police is, it's a tough job and the fire is a tough job. We gotta be careful on tearing these cars up. I mean, I see it sometimes, I say, what happened here, whatever it may be. So we, you know, sometimes we gotta let the criminal go. I mean, if you get rid of it, get away.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Do the citizens have a right to speak?
Yeah, we're gonna get to you.
Calling for remarks to the public, calling for the remarks to the public right now, okay?
Oh, man,
Come to the minute.
come on up, old man, and do your thing. All right?
Come on, okay.
Right? Do your thing.
You got 2 minutes.
No, I have 3 minutes.
Madam Chair,
That's what the law says.
she rules.
All right, all right.
I have a listen, no, I don't apologize. I do apologize.
All right.
Being here at the beginning of the matter. I do have some trepidation here. First, I'll start here. Council, please show some compassion. You have 2 minutes to 5 minutes to speak. You recognize your other council. This gentleman here asked several times before. You were totally ignored. That is not the way council operates. Every council should have an opportunity to everything that comes before you, have a right to speak at the beginning. If there is no further discussion, the chair moves on. That's the way. You are talking about something very serious, and that's money to operate the city. And we're hollering about this. You can't compare Cleveland with East Cleveland. We don't have the resources. We are constantly destroying our resources. When you don't build and don't rehab, you keep tearing down, you're destroying your resources. Ray Charles can see that. You constantly destroying the resources. It's a blessing that you got some money that came in. It's earmarked for certain things. And that's what it has to be spent on. You can't take it and do whatever you want with it. It came from the federal government. It's earmarked to be spent on those particular things. You have to go back and ask them as to how can we use this money for other purposes. Secondly, that's what has landed council, mayor, and other folks in jail. What contract and money? Because you're not following the norms, what has been set up before. I'm telling you what God loves, and that's the truth, and it's irrefutable. Because I've been here, sat here, I've seen my colleagues that was involved in what finance, money, what have you. And I was the only one standing out all that by myself. I'm giving you some information, whereas
You must ponder over before you jump and call it agree with this, that, and the other. You gotta read and ask questions. Probing questions, questions that deserve an explanation, not no yes or no question. Probing questions. Because things are tight now. And so I'm just saying to you, be cognizant as to what you say yay and nay to. Let the record reflect or maybe.
Latif,
How you doing?
yeah, how you doing?
Coming here, complaining.
Okay.
I've been in the precinct captain Ward 3, people are coming to talk to me about what's happening. The police are arresting people, they taking their cars, towing their cars out their driveway. You know, it had nothing to do with the crime that they committed. You know, it was a domestic violence. They tore all their cars. That's illegal. That's criminal. That ain't even borderline. That's criminal. But people that know the Constitution know you can't come on personal property without a warrant. You know, and that's disgusting. It's embarrassing. And it needs to stop. Council needs to put the pressure on the mayor and the police chief to stop that. You know, they're doing things here because they feel that these people don't have no money and you can't sue them. But I'm telling my people, sue Bill personally, police chief and the mayor personally. You know, they need to stop that. It's criminal. And it's embarrassing. People, they're doing things because people don't want to move into East Cleveland. You got a lot of space here, a lot of business here. Now the people Uber Eats and all these type of places, a business can come here and start on a low budget, and it don't matter where you live at no more. It don't matter where you live at. You go to any school. You can go to any school now. So if you don't want to put your kids in East Cleveland school, you can live in East Cleveland very cheaply. But we need to, some of this land that's here, you need to be developing, building low income homes. You know, they tore these homes down to raise the value of property. That's what the scheme of it all over the country. You know, not just these, I'm not blaming that on East Cleveland. They made a housing shortage so they can raise the property value. So the cities can survive off, you know, you can't survive off a $10,000 home. You know, what's the taxes on a $10,000 home? $100 a year, you can't survive. So you have to have $250,000 homes. You can't build a home for under $200,000 unit. People building it. So we need to kind of think about get some of this land, because I'm getting frustrated. You're trying to bankrupt the city so the city can't go on. That's the purpose. That's what I'm seeing. Because it's bad management. And when they cut the cameras off, when they shot that young boy, how did every one of them cut their cameras off for one? Because he knew that was against the law, that he shouldn't have did that. They're training them to cut the cameras off. And that's horrible. You do that to your own people. That's all I have to say.
Anybody else?
I would like anybody else, you want to say last remarks on council, remarks from the council.
Fellas, Brother Smith.
Back
over
to
there.
the council. Starting with Councilor Smith.
Thank you. Want to thank our Madam Clerk for sitting in, Madam McCullough. Thank you to my colleagues. I want to thank everyone who I understand met with the finance director yesterday.
Yes, that's correct.
That's a beautiful thing. I've been encouraging my colleagues to meet with the law director. That's, you know, when people, just thank you for doing your due diligence. People don't always know what they're talking about. It just always trying to insult us up here and act like we don't read information and go through things. So I just want to thank you all for taking that extra effort. Also, I do know that the four of us were all willing to have a meeting today at 6:30. I'm the one that told our mayor that it should be our meeting we should control the meeting. We wanted to call the meeting at 6:30, but if he was out of the meeting at 5:30, that's fine. But I want to thank everyone for showing up. I know Councilwoman Gotti, this is only your second time doing these 4 pieces of legislation. If we all remember this time last year, we had and I say we as a collective effort, we had the judge on Zoom crying and it was just looking pitiful. So I really thank you all for knocking out these 4 pieces of legislation this time. I was not being funny. Our president is missing. No one has spoke with her. Someone needs to make sure she all right, and if she is all right, she needs to answer to the people of why she's not around here serving the health interest, rights, and needs of the people. Most importantly, I want to thank the residents that showed up today. I know that this is not a regularly scheduled time, regularly scheduled meeting, but you came to see about your health interest, rights, and needs, and I thank you for that. That's it, Madam President. I appreciate you all.
Thank you. Councilman Thompson.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm not going to start out in reverse. I want to say thank you to the residents of Great City, Cleveland. I appreciate this opportunity that I have to serve you. I hope I did not let you down. It was my goal to serve you with distinction, honor, respect, and integrity. And so if I do not meet your remarkable efforts, charging to my head and not my heart. I do appreciate this opportunity, and it's been more humbling than you know. Again, I do appreciate you. I respect you. I love you. I'm looking forward to more service. Maybe not as an elected official, but just pulling out of my heart and serving with the best of my ability as, like I say, my guiding and talent. And you know, say thank you. Feeling through, take care of one another, take an extra step in taking care of your own health. And Dr. Smith, health interest, right, and needs. We must get involved, we must stay informed, and it's imperative for us as a people to learn how to better take care of themselves, to better respect one another, and bring somebody along. If you have the information with knowledge and training already skills, share those skills so they won't perish with you. So they say that people perish, people lack of knowledge. If you have information that help people get better, don't let us perish. To everybody on the staff, within City Hall, I thank you for all your hard work, your long hours, your tireless effort. Thank you, job for you, the police, fire. Thank you so much. Without you, we would not be here. There's so many things you have to go through that cannot be spoken of. So to those humble servants, thank you. To the members of council, thank you. We have indeed been through a lot, like a great family. There's always that word fight. And fight is not always something you cannot make part of it. Fight is something you can make part of it. The struggle is what makes you strong. So to those whom I have had to struggle with, our finances, those folks are still I say thank you. And I had a pleasure of having somebody pull me out before. I felt like this person really saved my life. So the best I can do is give them a hug and say thank you. So today, my people, I respect and give you that hug, and I say thank you, Johnson officer.
Very briefly, I want to say that I think we ended the year on a good note. Okay, we got something done. We're going to a new year, 2022. January the 3rd, according to the charter, 7:30 was sworn in. That will be Dr. Patricia Blohoviak, myself, and Ernest Smith will be sworn in. We were trying to have it at the library, but right now, because of the, what's it called, this new variant, what they call it? Omicron. I think we're gonna have it here. We're gonna have it here at 7:30.
For interrupting, we have passed the legislation, to have it at the library, and we accept the approval.
No, that's not what I'm getting from the library.
That is
See,
not
you
true.
speaking, but you don't know what you're talking
No,
about.
I know what I'm talking about.
What I got from the library, okay, so what I got from the library is that they're closing at 4 o'clock. And they have a major problem.
That is, doesn't have anything.
Yes, it does something to do. You send me an email, okay? So
We don't know when.
Okay.
right now, it looks like the best thing we can do is have it here. And what we're asking, and I'm putting this out public, that everybody had 2 people. We don't have to have a lot of people to be sworn in. We have 2, I have 2 people, you have 2 people. Smith, you have 2 people. But it looked like we may not be able to have it at the library. We reached out to them but things have changed since then. The Omicron is a problem. They close at 4 o'clock. They close at 4 o'clock now. They're not closing at 6.
We only closing at 4 o'clock.
I'm not begging you. Please,
You don't know what you're talking about.
I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Come on.
All right.
Stay focused.
So till we get an answer,
You got it.
Stay focused.
our backup of safety's got to be, we're gonna have to have it here. It's got to take place. Whether it takes place at the library, or it's got to take place. Okay, we have to have the organizational meeting. So until we get something confirmed, and we have nothing confirmed right now. I read an email today stating that they close at 4, and they don't even know if they're gonna be able to do it. Now, I don't know where you get your information from, but this is what I got. I'm talking with the facts, dealing with the facts. So, January the 3rd is when we're gonna have it. We're gonna either have 2 places. It's either gonna be here or it's gonna be at the library. Now, don't look like it's not gonna be at the library. Now, that could change. The day is the 28th, right? The day is the 28th. So we only have a few more days. January 3rd is this coming Monday. This coming Monday, we will know what we're going to do. Dr. Patricia Blobeck is the new council person. Ernest Smith is being elected, and myself, and the mayor. Brandon King, he just got elected. All those people have to be sworn in on the 3rd. Now, between now and January 3rd, which is only 4 or 5 days from now, hopefully we have an answer to that. We have to, but it must take place. What I'm saying is it must take place. We have to be sworn in. There has to be an oath. Okay, that's the way this is why I've been going for the 30 years I've been on. Okay, so that's what has to take place. I want to thank Tim Austin for his leadership and for him, what he's done the years he's been here. We'll miss you, brother. We'll miss you. I want to welcome Ernest Smith back and everybody else back. We got a lot to do. What I'm hoping for, and I'll say this on the 3rd, is that we really work together collectively. In other words, it ain't about the council. It's just not just the council. It's the mayor. If we work together, we can get a lot done. We can turn this whole thing around. But the only way that can happen is that we gotta work together. Brandon King has as much to bring as the council people have, but we have to bring it together and reach some type of consensus on some of this stuff. We ended, I'm very pleased that we ended this year on a positive note. We passed all 4 pieces of legislation. We're ready to move forward. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. I want to thank Charles. We sit down with him for 2 hours and went through this. We went through with a fine, you were there. Okay, we didn't always agree on everything, but we went through it. I called him because I knew we had to have it, so we wouldn't have a mess today. So we're moving in the right direction. I'm feeling a good spirit. I'm feeling a good spirit, and I hope that this carries on. We got a lot to do. Okay, it's not about me. It's not about Willa. It's not about Gotti. It's not about Smith. It's about our kids and our grandkids. What we're gonna leave them. That's what it's really all about. I've spoken. Thank you.
Madam Chairman, just for a hot
Okay,
second, let me
okay,
read.
okay, you
what
can go
the-
ahead.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
I appreciate
I
it.
think you did that.
Yes, the library board will waive the cost for using Performing Arts Center. Please move forward with the formal application, whereas we have not received special details of the program. Because of the surge of COVID, we recommend that the formality of the program be brief as possible. That is from the board as well as the director. I spoke with the director today. I sat on the board and we approved it. So don't listen to what you hear. The library is still open and waiting for on the 3rd of December, 3rd of January. What happened today? We had people and we closed the library and start open at 4 o'clock to have it exterminated, ready for the 3rd. Now, so he don't really come.
No, that's not. I got an email today.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
man.
about to.
I got an email
I just
stipulating that, stipulating that it's gonna, they closing at 4 o'clock every day.
Yes.
Okay, 4 o'clock. And he said that he's not sure. Well, I don't know what you got, but I know what I got. He's not sure whether they're gonna be able to do it. Now, you don't know that, and I don't know that. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't. Sit down.
Y'all need to stop, y'all too old for that. You old, y'all too old.
You are old.
I'm making it good to take you sick.
Sit down.
You sit down.
Sit down.
You did good, you said what you said, you
No, I'm telling you.
You don't gotta stop. You gotta stop.
Don't make you just have order.
No better than you.
Okay.
You don't let you.
Order.
And then you go.
Y'all did. Okay, Mr. O'May confirmed that it will be at the library, and we want to thank you, each and every one of you for coming out today. We're gonna miss you, Timothy
Thank you
Youngstown.
very much.
And in the future, we hope that we'll see you coming to council meetings
Hey,
and say, you said maybe.
I'd like to
So,
make a motion.
Okay,
Let me
but
finish your thought.
after I get finished, so, I would like to greet everybody a happy New Year's that's coming in, and hope that this year that's coming in gonna be better than last year, in the years to come to be better. We looking for new people to come in here, looking for our young youth to step up to do something, because we don't have a lot of young youth in here, so we looking for a change for our city for 2022. And I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out. Councilman Smith, congratulations on your successful being on council again, and Councilor Martin and Patricia, we and the mayor, because we live in that seat. I just want you to know that we really do appreciate you. The ones that even come out, our residents that's listening, and our residents that's in the audience that's coming up and stepping up. Thank you, Charles. Happy New Year. We did pass some things, but we will be looking over things to see what we, need to adjust. But we have to get you paid. So this is a good year starting off. So we want to continue having a good year, and I'm gonna adjourn this meeting, and y'all have a blessed night. Meeting adjourned.
Meeting be adjourned.
Yeah.
Right.
Meeting adjourned.
All in favor? Aye.
All right. 7:02 p.m. All right.
What time did it end?
7:02.
Yes, you do. I hear you back there.